All right, fuck the formalities. Let's just jump right into this shit show of a pop masterpiece. We're talking Bad Guy by Billie Eilish, a song so damn catchy it top charts globally, but also pissed off more than a few critics.
Yeah, it's wild how a track released back in, 2019 can still get under people's skin. It's like this earworm that burrows into your brain, but with this dark, kind of twisted heart.
And we're going to dissect that twisted heart
Aw.
piece by fucking piece. We'll tear apart the song's structure, the instruments they use, those creepy lyrics, and all the drama surrounding it, from plagiarism accusations to the Bieber remix that nobody, and I mean nobody, asked for.
Should we start with the structure then? It's almost like the song has a split personality. It jumps between this fast, aggressive energy at 135 BPM, then slams the brakes down to a crawl at 60. It's like experiencing whiplash between a mosh pit and a funeral procession.
Talk about mood swings, right? Musically, critics have labeled it everything from electropop and dance pop to pop trap and even new goth pop. To be honest, I think they just make up these labels to sound smarter than they are.
Well, they got to justify those fancy degrees somehow, right? But labels aside, what really matters is the sound, the sonic landscape they create. And with Bad Guy, it's built on this super minimalist foundation. You got your synth bass, a pound-in kick drum, and those amplified finger snaps that somehow just work. But the real kicker is that 808 bass.
Oh man, that 808, it's like this sub-bass frequency you feel more than you actually hear. It's like a physical vibration right in your chest.
It's that oral assault that you just can't ignore. It's like a creepy whisper in your ear, but like 10 times more intense.
Yeah, it's like the musical equivalent of a jump scare in a horror movie. And then there's that hook, that goddamn infectious synth riff that sounds like it was ripped straight out of some horror flick or a demented carnival. It's genius, pure genius.
It's that contrast, that clash between something dark and playful that makes it so damn addictive. But speaking of twisted, we got to talk about those lyrics. Pure teenage angst and sarcasm just oozing from every line.
Like, Billie's basically this evil mastermind in the song, taunting her lover, claiming she's the bigger bad guy. The whole might seduce your dad line. Pure gold.
It's a power move, plain and simple. She's flipping that whole bad boy trope on its head, and she's owning it.
And it's not just about sexual power, right?
Yeah.
It's about rebelling against expectations. Like that line about her mom liking to sing along to her music, but not to this song. It's like a jab at all those hypocritical adults who try to control and censor young people.
It's a subtle but cutting critique of societal norms and that pressure to conform. Billie's basically saying screw that and embracing her darkness, her weirdness, and encouraging others to do the same.
Which is exactly why she resonates so strongly with her fans. She's not afraid to be herself, even if it pisses some people off. And got to give props to Finneas, her brother, for crafting this sonic landscape. It's sparse, but damn is it impactful.
The dude is a musical magician. The way he uses minimal elements like the bass, drums, and those finger snaps to create this atmosphere of tension and unease is incredible.
Yeah, it's like this horror movie soundtrack that somehow morphs into a catchy pop song. That constant push and pull between those vibes is what keeps you hooked.
It's what good pop music is all about, right? Making you feel something, making you think, making you question everything. Bad Guy does all of that and more.
It's a song that feels both very much of its time and somehow timeless all at once. And you know it's going to be analyzed and debated for years to come. We've talked about the lyrics, the production, how it fits in culturally, but we haven't even touched that music video yet.
Oh man, that music video. It's like its own visual masterpiece, but messed up in all the right ways.
Seriously. It's like if Tim Burton directed a fever dream after chugging a gallon of Red Bull.
Yeah.
Billie with a bloody nose dancing like a demon sitting on top of some dude doing push-ups. It's pure visual chaos.
But it's a controlled chaos though, right?
Mm.
Everything in that video feels intentional, from the colors they use to the choreography to those bizarre, almost Lynchian images they throw at you.
And we can't forget about the memes it spawned. The Bad Guy video is like the gift that keeps on giving in the meme department. I swear I saw my grandma doing the Billie Eilish dance at a wedding last month.
It's reached that point where it's part of the cultural lexicon, you know? That's the mark of a truly iconic music video. It transcends the song itself and becomes this whole other phenomenon. But we gotta address the elephant in the room. What about those plagiarism accusations that came up? People pointed out similarities between the video and the work of these photographers, Maurizio Cattelan and Pierpaolo Ferrari.
Yeah, the whole art theft thing, it's almost like a rite of passage for artists who blow up these days. Someone always cries foul.
But it's undeniable that there were some visual similarities, right? It started a whole debate about originality in the age of the internet. Like, where do you draw the line between inspiration and straight-up imitation?
It's a tough question, and I don't think there's an easy answer. But hey, at least it got people talking and thinking about art and the creative process in new ways. But let's move on to something a little less controversial. How about we talk about that Justin Bieber remix?
Ah, yes. The remix that divided the internet. You either loved it or you hated it.
There was no middle ground. For me, it was like listening to nails on a chalkboard. It completely butchers the vibe of the original.
Well, his verse definitely changes the song's vibe. I think some people were into it because it was a kind of novelty, a nod to Billie's past as a believer. But yeah, a lot of people felt it was jarring, unnecessary, maybe even disrespectful to the original.
It felt like a calculated attempt to commercialize Bad Guy and make it safe for mainstream radio, which is ironic considering the song's whole message of rejecting that kind of mainstream bullshit.
It highlights that tension that exists between artistic integrity and commercial success. It's a balancing act that a lot of artists struggle with. But we've dissected the lyrics, the production, talked about the music video, and even suffered through the Bieber remix. We've looked at its impact on culture, the controversies that came up, and the debates it sparked. Bad Guy really nailed the whole vibe of pop culture at the time. Dark, edgy, self-aware, and just totally unapologetic about challenging the status quo.
It's like Billie took all the anxiety and frustration of her generation, like bottled it up and turned it into a sonic weapon.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it connected so strongly with young people. It reflected their experiences, their outlook on the world, even their dark humor.
And speaking of humor, some of these lyrics are just straight up hilarious, like, I'm the bad guy, duh.
Yeah.
You can practically hear her smirking as she sings it.
It's all in the delivery, right? That deadpan tone is what makes it work. She's in on the joke, but at the same time, she's daring you to take her seriously.
And then there's that line, might seduce your dad. I mean, come on, that's just brilliant.
Total power move. She's taking the whole bad boy trope, flipping it on its head, and she's the one in control.
It's not just about being sexually dominant, though, right? It's about rebelling against expectations, sticking it to the man. Like that line about her mom liking to sing along to her music, but not this song. It's like she's calling out all those hypocritical adults who try to censor and control young people.
It's a subtle way of critiquing societal norms and that pressure to conform. Billie's like, nope, not playing that game. She's embracing her darkness, her weirdness, and basically saying, hey, you do you.
And that's what makes her such a compelling artist, right? She's not afraid to be herself, even if it makes some people uncomfortable. We got to talk about the production for a second. Finneas, her brother, deserves major props for creating this sonic world. It's minimalist, but damn, it hits hard.
The way he uses these simple elements like the bass, the drums, even those finger snaps to create this atmosphere of tension and unease, it's masterful.
Yeah, the dude's a genius. It's like he took a horror movie soundtrack and somehow mashed it up with a catchy as hell pop song. It's that push and pull between those two vibes that keeps you coming back for more.
Isn't that the sign of good pop music? Making you feel something, making you think, making you question everything. Bad Guy does all that and then some.
It's one of those songs that manages to be both of its time and timeless all at once. You just know people are going to be analyzing and debating it for years to come. So we've talked about the lyrics, the production, the whole cultural significance of it, but we haven't even gotten to that music video yet.
Oh man, that music video. It's like its own bizarre work of art in a totally messed up way, of course.
It's like someone gave Tim Burton a gallon of Red Bull and told him to direct a fever dream. You got Billie with a bloody nose, dancing like she's possessed by demons, sitting on top of some dude doing push-ups. It's just pure visual chaos.
But it's controlled chaos, right? Like every single thing in that video feels deliberate, from the colors they use to the choreography to those weird, almost David Lynchian images they throw at you.
Oh, and let's not forget about the memes. The Bad Guy video spawned like a million memes. I swear, I even saw my grandma trying to do the Billie Eilish dance at a wedding the other day.
It's become part of the culture at this point. That's what a truly iconic music video does. It goes beyond just the song and becomes its own phenomenon. We got to talk about that whole plagiarism controversy, though, right? People pointed out some similarities between the video and the work of these photographers, Maurizio Catalan and Pier Paolo Ferrari.
The whole art theft thing. It's like a rite of passage for any artist to get super famous these days. Someone always comes out of the woodwork claiming they stole their ideas.
You gotta admit, though, there are some visual similarities. And it did spark a pretty interesting conversation about originality in the digital age. Like, where do we draw the line between being inspired by something and straight up ripping someone off?
That's a tough one. I don't think there's an easy answer. But at least it got people talking and thinking critically about art and the whole creative process. Enough about that, though. Let's move on to something a little less heavy. How about we talk about that Justin Bieber remix?
Yes. The remix that divided the internet. People either loved it or absolutely hated it.
There was no in between.
Yeah.
And, personally, I think it's a steaming pile of garbage. It completely ruins the vibe of the original.
His verse definitely changes the song's energy. I think some people thought it was fun, kind of a novelty thing and a nod to Billie's past as a believer. But a lot of people felt it was jarring, out of place, maybe even a little disrespectful to the original.
It felt like a cheap attempt to make Bad Guy more palatable for mainstream radio, which is pretty ironic considering the song's all about rejecting that kind of mainstream bullshit.
It really highlights that tension between artistic integrity and commercial success. A lot of artists struggle to find that balance. We've taken apart the lyrics, the production, talked about the music video, and even endured that Bieber remix. We've explored its impact, the controversies, and the debates it sparked.
But at the end of the day, who really gives a shit what we think? What matters is how Bad Guy makes you feel.
Right. Does it, speak to your soul? Does it make you think? Does it make you want to dance around like you've lost your damn mind?
Those are the real questions, my friend.
So go back, listen to the song, watch the video, and tell us what you think.
Okay, but before we wrap this up, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Where does Bad Guy rank in your Billie Eilish Hall of Fame? The girl's got a whole catalog of bangers.
It's tough to pick just one, but Bad Guy is definitely up there. I mean, it's her breakout hit, the one that launched her into superstardom. It's got that undeniable energy, that catchy hook, that subversive message.
And let's be real, it's the song that spawned like a million TikTok dances. Right. Gotta give it props for that.
Oh, absolutely. It's infiltrated every corner of pop culture. It transcends genres, generations, even languages. It just connects with people on a visceral level.
So there you have it, folks. We went deep, we got a little weird, we even talked about Justin frickin' Bieber.
We explored the music, the lyrics, the whole cultural impact of the song. But ultimately, the meaning of Bad Guy is up to you to decide.
So go back, give it another spin, and decide for yourself. Is it a masterpiece? A cultural reset? Or just a catchy tune?
Whatever your verdict, there's no denying that Bad Guy has left its mark on the world. And that's pretty damn impressive for a song about being, well, a bad guy.
And on that note, we're out of here. Peace out, bad guys.